Today's episode, we'll talk about the Bulls' comeback victory over the Toronto Raptors today in their third preseason game. We'll get into all that and more. First, let's do the intro.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily podcast on the Chicago Bulls, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Locked On Bulls. Locked On Bulls, member of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. That's Pat, the designer, host and creator of the Windy City Breeze. I'm Haize, host and creator of the Chicago Bulls and Chicago Bears Central channels. But nonetheless, Pat, I'm back.
He's back.
I'm back.
He's back.
I'm back. It feels good. It feels good. You held it down while I was
talking to yourself, man.
Hey, bro, listen. You know I do it every day over on Chicago Bulls.
Me too.
Yeah, you do too.
It's lonely out there.
And that's the special thing, right? About us coming together to do this, because we both are great solo and we can do this thing solo. But like, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. The times that I've had to host the show solo, it's been weird, bro. But I'm glad to be back, man. Thank you for holding it down as I had to attend my sister's wedding and whatnot. But luckily,
congratulations. First off, congratulations.
Thank you. Shout out to my sister. But with that being said, bro, we got a victory to talk about on the way back, man. The Bulls get a preseason victory over the Toronto Raptors. Javonte Green, who did not lace up in the first half, came back second half. Javonte's been killing it. So I want to start from this. Outside of just the Bulls win, and we can talk about that, but I also want to get your thoughts on the improvement it seems like we've gotten so far from Javonte Green in preseason and what that could mean for a season coming up. What do you think, brother?
Well, I think it's interesting. You have to talk about Javonte, right, and how he's really come out, and I mean, you have to talk about the aggression that he's shown, right? Like the mindset that we've wanted from Patrick Williams. Like, Javonte exudes that. If only he was 4 inches taller. But you love the fact that, and I think the biggest thing for me is the fact that he's improved his three-point shooting game. He's become more of a three-point shooting threat. Clearly, that opens up things for Nikola Vucevic. That was a place that we couldn't really use Javonte last season, right? He had the ability to shoot it, but he didn't have the ability to shoot it from a high percentage there. And I think that was the one thing that when you looked at Javonte Green last season, you were like, that's the one part that if he could just improve there, it would help Vooch out so much, because Vooch from the paint could kick it to somebody that was going to knock down a shot. Now you see Javonte Green with the ability to knock down that three-point shot seemingly from all over the place, right? I think that helps his game so much. And, of course, you know what he's going to bring defensively. He was able to turn away Pascal Siakam a couple of times, right? Guys that are much bigger than him. He's able to play so many positions on the floor that you love to use him. I think he's the perfect guy for a small ball lineup. And I'm really excited to see what he's going to bring to the Chicago Bulls team. I don't know if he's going to end up in the starting lineup per se, and I'm sure we'll talk about that at some point. But I mean, you realize that Billy Donovan really is focusing in on using this guy in a ton of different ways, because he's versatile enough to be used in so many different ways.
Exactly. And I know some people are going to say and say that he's going to start over Pat. I don't necessarily, even in Billy Donovan, the comments he made after last game, I do think Patrick Williams is going to get back into that starting lineup. And I think that it makes Javonte even more versatile to be coming off the bench, because in the multiple positions that he can play and the energy that he brings. Now, I do want to rub it in a little bit, because you were very much at the beginning of this before the season
wasn't gonna
started.
get no
You thought Javonte was not going to get minutes. Javonte said, "I see that, Pat." But outside of that, we also need to talk about the improvement of this. Not only the improvement in play of Nikola Vucevic, but the improvement in usage in Nikola Vucevic. They're going to Vooch intentionally down low, no longer waiting on him to do things in the perimeter. He still hasn't shot the ball from three extremely well in the preseason, but everything else from Nikola Vucevic's game this preseason has been exactly what you wanted to be, with the defense being even better than what I was expecting. Vooch has been a positive on defense so far in this preseason. What do you think about Vooch and the steps that he's taken, it looks like, so far in the offseason?
Well, I think that's the main thing you got to talk about, right? Like, we had the conversation over on the Windy City Breeze live call of the game that, the Bulls really weren't going to Vooch early down low. They tried to go to him early, and then the double team came. Vooch is a force by himself. But when you put things around Vooch that help increase his game, now all of a sudden he's such a better player. And that's where I think the knockdown shooters come in, because you can't double team Vooch in the paint then. When Vooch gets to go one-on-one with his guy, Vooch 9 times out of 10 is going to win that battle. And I think that's something that we've seen this preseason, right? Like he's been a guy who's 9 times out of 10 won his battle versus the guy he's going across from. That's the one thing that you really want to see this Chicago Bulls team keep utilizing. Vooch down low, being able to finish around the bucket, being able to get that hook shot going, because at a minimum, right, we know that that's the thing that takes his game to the next level. That's the thing that puts his game on the, okay, now he's getting it going on the inside. Now we got to worry about him cutting to the basket. And today, right, if you want to take anything from Vooch's game, how much Vooch was cutting today was a gem for the Chicago Bulls today. And I think that's the one thing that I'd focus on from today's game and say, if we can see more of that. Now, granted, right, like he's 32, 33, right? You're not going to get a ton of cutting out of him. He'd rather start down low. But just his ability to cut to the basket and use that body and get up a little bit, you know what I mean? Like I'm very excited about what we're going to see from Nikola Vucevic down low in the paint, and then how he can extend that out. If he can keep attacking down low at the same rate, the Chicago Bulls team is going to be so dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, this and coming into the season, right? Like we know we wanted to see improvements, and Io does seem improved as well. I don't want to overlook and we'll be all day talking about the improvements that everybody's looked like, but specifically Javonte and what he's been able to do off the bench has been huge for this team, and it can change. Kobe White seems a little bit more consistent in this game. Didn't shoot the ball too well, but gave the Bulls a good minutes overall. When you shoot the ball only 3 for 10, but you're plus 19, you're doing a lot of other things basketball-wise out there. This Chicago Bulls bench, do you think we're going to fare better than 29th in the NBA this season like we did last season?
Well, I think the bench scoring from last season is so skewed because of what the Bulls went through injury-wise. If they're healthy, 100%, right? If they're healthy, I think you're talking about a bench that's at a minimum. I'd say, I don't know if I'd say top of the top 10, right? But I'd give them like a top 10 bench. Maybe you're talking about that number 10, number 11 spot, somewhere in there close to that, right? Because you've got so many pieces on this bench that can come in and produce. I mean, you look at what Andre Drummond was able to do now, the points, right?
3 for 3 from 3-point range. For Andre Drummond.
Drummond.
And you know what's funny about this is not only the fact that he hit three-point shots. It was that it looks like he's actually been working to add that to his game in the form and the way that.
Well, here's the part that here's the hot take part. Here's the part that gets me a little excited, right? As a Bulls fan, it took a coach basically telling Brook Lopez it's okay for you to shoot that for him to start shooting him. It took a coach telling Al Horford it's okay for you to shoot that for him to start shooting him. I'm not saying that we're heading towards those lengths with Andre Drummond, but Andre Drummond is still an elite rebounder in this NBA. Andre Drummond is a really good defender, and if you got somebody that's adding a 3-point shot to their game, and like you said, bro, it didn't look like Andre was just throwing away. It didn't look like Rolo. Right? Like Rolo be throwing them mugs up, and you be like, nah, we don't need to see that no more.
Exactly.
Andre Drummond looks like not only has he been practicing this, but he's been practicing his form. He's been practicing how he wants the shot to go. He was able to knock down not only 2 wide open ones, but a contested one as well. And so I look at that and I'm like, hey, listen, at the end of the day, if he's able to just add a couple of 3-pointers per game to his game, he might work his way back into a starting lineup. I don't know if it's going to be with the Bulls or not, but like that now makes him a modern big man. That is something that's good to already have in your organization. So if he does improve on that, I'm excited. If he doesn't, he gave you his numbers tonight. 9 and 9 in 17 minutes?
Yeah.
That's what you're going to get from Andre Drummond being the regular player that he
That's
is.
just... That is wild, bro. Do you want to take a guess at how many 3-pointers Andre Drummond has hit his whole entire NBA career?
I would say 7.
Andre Drummond is 15 for 114 for his career from 3-point range for 13.2.
114 3-pointers?
Yeah, bro. The most he took in one season, he took 38 in 1 year in Detroit. He hit 5 of 38. He took 21 the next season after that. But you know what this reminds me of? Do you remember when Taj Gibson added the 3-point shot? Yeah. And he had said, I've been working on this for 4 years before he really started relying on it. Yeah. Maybe Drummond's low-key been working on adding range to his game for a handful of years.
And it's just about having a team that's going to say it's okay for you to shoot that. right? Like last year in Philly, they didn't want that from him. He was a bench role. He had a bench role. They weren't looking for anything offensively from him. They were looking for solid defense, and they were looking for rebounding down low. Here, off of the bench, Billy Donovan's probably all for shooting the ball more and getting more offense off of your bench, adding assets off of your bench that can score. So don't be surprised if – I'm not saying he's going to take 3, but if teams are going to leave him that wide open –
he should.
He'll probably, and I mean, honestly, right? Like 3 of them, as long as you don't take them at the wrong moment, but 3 of them in the middle of a game and you're only getting 17 to 20 minutes, you're not hurting yourself here, right? Like let's be 100% honest why he was taking them shots. It's preseason. That's why he was getting the shots.
yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, man. Next up, we're going to talk more about this game and things that were taken away from it. Is Zach LaVine, how concerning is Zach LaVine's play so far? We'll talk about that next. But first, I got to talk to you guys about LinkedIn. These days, every new potential hire can feel like a high-stakes wager for your small business. You want to be 100% certain that you have access to the best qualified candidates available. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs helps find the right people for your team faster and for free. All you do is you add your job, and then the purple hashtag hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile to spread the word that you're hiring. Simple tools like screening questions make it easy to focus on the candidates with just the right skills and experience. You can quickly prioritize who'd you like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnNBA. That's linkedin.com/LockedOnNBA to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. All right, Pat. For the first time in almost a week, we got the music back. We got the music.
The music is back, baby.
The music's back.
I've been singing it. It ain't the same.
So while we've had a lot of positive segue from it, there are some concerns. Patrick Williams coming off the bench. What's going on there is one, but you talked about that already. Zach LaVine's play so far in the preseason. For some fans, it's concerning. For me, I will say this. It's preseason, and I really look at Zach as being a player that knows he can turn it on. We saw it in the second quarter of the first preseason game, and I believe it was the third quarter of the second preseason game, both in not anything major, but he had stretches where he absolutely went into Zach LaVine mode. He hit a couple of step back threes, step back mid-ranges, and he hit them easily. Are you concerned, though, with the play of Zach LaVine, considering the contract he signed? And as we know, whether it's right or wrong, there are going to be some fans that see his play in preseason and ask, did we spend our money correctly? What do you think, Pat?
I'm not concerned about anything in the beginning of the season. I'll tell y'all why. Because the team that was pretty mediocre and that's putting it nicely, in the beginning of the season, last season went to the NBA Finals last year. That's the Boston Celtics. I mean, they were basically a below 500 team just about till the All-Star break.
Yeah.
I think right before All-Star break, they caught a little bit of steam and started going. And this is the thing that I want basketball fans to understand. Just because you've watched basketball your entire life, just because you've played basketball, does not mean you can stop learning. And DeMar DeRozan taught me something last season. Teams don't care about what you're doing in the beginning of the season. When DeMar said that, it really showed how teams were attacking the Bulls towards the second half of the season, because the Bulls were winning, Bulls were killing, Bulls were cooking, all of that, right? But as we got the All-Star break and as we got right after All-Star break, you really saw the Chicago Bulls get attacked at their weaknesses consistently, because the other teams were saying, we might see you in the playoffs, and so we need to know what we're doing to attack your weaknesses consistently. I think that's a major takeaway coming into this season. If Zach LaVine struggles at the beginning of the year or he's struggling in preseason, I'm not going to look at this and say, Zach LaVine's a terrible player. This is one of the worst signings of the offseason, right? We get 10, 20 games in, I'll be a little concerned.
Yeah.
I'll be like, hey,
sure.
You can't be shooting 20% from the field. You know what I mean? Like, we got to get it together. You got to figure this out. But you have to take into account Zach LaVine hasn't played any 5-on-5 this offseason. Most of the other Bulls have. Zach LaVine has not really worked out with the rest of the team except for the 5-on-5 out in LA. Most of the other Bulls have, right? They've all been working together. They've played offseason ball. Zach LaVine's literally using preseason to say, I'm getting back into basketball shape. This might carry into the first 3-4 games of the season because he's getting back into basketball shape. Like, it's okay, Bulls fans. Like, this is, and it's funny, right? Because if it was anybody but Zach LaVine, we wouldn't have this concern.
I mean, we shouldn't have the concern anyway. Like, it's preseason, right? And as much as we said about the bad stuff, we got to say it about the good things. That's why we have the talk and we ask, hey, can this carry on into the regular season? Like you said, I'm not even giving you 10. 5 games into the season, if we're still seeing Zach look like this, all right, I'm going to be concerned. I'm pulling the red cord. We're going to talk about it. But as of right now, it's like, you got to understand it. Like, this is preseason. And like, while like it's good and it feels as a good
sign that literally just says
exactly
preseason for the next game.
And as a fan, you want to be like, it's every game you should take every game seriously. Listen, it don't. Like, it doesn't. I'll tell you right now. If like, you can say all day, and it sounds good, it sounds effortless, but guess what? A lot of players don't care. They don't care. A lot of teams don't care. So here's the thing that I'm going to say is that, okay, if you want to say, all right, I'm looking out for it, it's concerning me a little, that's fine. Have that concern. That's fair. Let's see how that concern turns in the beginning of the season, right? Let's see how that concern, where it goes. Because even with as great as Javonte has looked in the preseason, we may not be seeing that when the regular season starts. It's preseason. Let's see what happens when the lights are on.
And I think here's the thing. This is the one thing that I will ask, right? Because this is the one thing that maybe does concern me a little bit with Patrick Williams, right? It's early. I can say the same things about him. I will say the same things about him. It's preseason. I'm hoping that he gets himself into it. Patrick Williams has played Summer League. Patrick Williams has played, or not Summer League, in Drew League. Patrick Williams has played with DeMar DeRozan all offseason, right? Mm-hmm. We're still not seeing a change in mindset. We're seeing a change in ability. I think we're seeing him take more shots and things like that.
Yeah.
But he's not taking on a different mindset when it comes to attacking the guy on the other side of him. And to me, that is a little bit concerning to start the season. Javonte Green moving into the starting lineup, Derrick Jones Jr. moving into the starting lineup, right? That means to me, Billy Donovan looks at that, whether he's trying to set a message or not, and he's just saying, there's flexibility there. Yeah. You're not solidified in that spot. We've seen Ayo, Zach, DeMar, and Vooch every other game. Mm-hmm. The only spot that's been flexible is that power forward spot. And that's a little bit concerning because when he went to the bench, right, like if he got that mindset, going to the bench should have been, okay, give me the ball, I'm finna kill everybody. And it hasn't been. It's been a lot of, I'm just going through the motions still. I'm playing my game.
The thing with Patrick Williams that has been concerning to me, right? Let's do a compliment sandwich. I'm gonna give a compliment. I'm gonna say the things that have been concerning me. I'm gonna end with another compliment. The first game, I like that Patrick Williams, when people ran to him on the 3-point line, he did try to drive the ball. He took the shots, right? He took the shots more confidently. He didn't hit them, right? So it was good to see that. Second preseason game, he still took shots. The fact that he took as many shots as he's averaged as a starter coming off the bench, it shows something there. But the mindset, like you said, the question with Patrick Williams isn't necessarily the ability, right? I think a lot of us know that Patrick Williams has the ability. I think some people, because he was a 4th overall pick, have too high of expectations. Like on this team, Patrick Williams isn't going to be an 18-point per game scorer. That's not going to be it. But he can be a damn good 12 to 15-point per game scorer by hitting his shots, right? The fact that it's like, if after this season with DeMar, him talking about learning DeMar's work ethic, how much goes into it, all of this, if none of that has rubbed off on Patrick Williams and being demoted, I'm going to be concerned.
I'm a little bit concerned, especially seeing a guy on the bench. By the way, I don't know if you saw this update. They had to do an x-ray on Dalen Terry after today's game. They found out he's got that dog in him. We got that picture here.
He's got that dog.
He's got that dog.
Yeah,
he's still in the game out here. And so you can see it right there, right in this area. You see just that dog right up in him. And listen, that should concern Patrick Williams more than anything, because guess what? We also got an X-ray of Javonte Green. I don't know how to tell y'all this. He got that dog in him. There's dogs behind you, and you ain't started moving yet. I'm not off of P. Will. I'm not off of nothing with P. Will, right? I look at P. Will and I literally say he has every ability and intangible. He's a very efficient shooter. He can do all of it. But at the end of the day,
If he don't believe it, it don't matter what we seeing.
And so did Otto Porter.
Oh, bro, don't make that comparison.
Bro,
don't
listen,
do that to me,
what,
bro.
What did they say about him in Washington?
You got a point.
What did they say about him in Washington? John Wall and Bradley Beal never said Otto Porter can't play. They said we are a championship team if he realizes what he can do.
Damn. We just got another X-ray back from Dalen Terry. Not only did he have that dog in him, Joakim Noah was found to be living inside of Dalen Terry.
What is Joe doing in there?
Joakim Noah is living inside of Dalen Terry right now.
He was in the back behind
He was behind the dog. He was behind the dog.
Where did you find a Joakim Noah X-ray picture? Or did you make that? Bro, where did you find a Joakim Noah X-ray picture, bro?
Oh man! Oh god! Oh man, we gotta get into the last segment, bro. You gotta do your ad read, bro. That is hilarious.
Let me do this read, bro. This man found a joke. Hold on, put that up one more time. This man found a Joakim Noah X-ray picture, bro. I didn't even know they did though. Oh man, hey, I appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us, man. Before we get into this final segment, kind of talking about some of those dogs that we can look forward to this season, man. We do got to tell you guys about BetOnline.net. BetOnline.net is your number one source for all football and NBA betting info this season. Find out all the latest odds and player developments, team matchups, news, podcasts, and in-depth article analysis on every single game you can find. And as always, BetOnline remains your continued source for all your sports wagering information with live betting and up-to-the-minute scores and updates for every sport out there. The fastest and easiest way to check in on all your favorite game and events, including MLB, MMA, boxing, and golf. Head to BetOnline.net and use your mobile device to learn more. BetOnline, that's where the game starts.
Now we joked a little bit about the Rook beforehand, man. Before we went into this last segment, gotta ask you this, brother. Dalen Terry, have you changed at all your opinion on him getting minutes for this Bulls team early in the season?
Yeah, because I thought Marco would be garnering some minutes, and Billy Donovan has no idea Marco's alive.
Well, he did get in the second preseason game. We did get in Marco, and he didn't get dunked on.
Bro,
he didn't get dunked on.
Bro, this is the funny part, right? Legitimately, Marko Simonovic is 6'10", 240?
Sounds about
230? Right. Something like that?
No, it's 225 because he put on that muscle.
My bad. Yeah. Hey, look, too big to not be getting play when we don't have power forwards. And Billy Donovan, bro, the worst part about game 2 was he was like blowing on his hands like he was finna get in the game. Here we go. All right, I'm up. Oh, you was looking past me? You was looking past me? So, yeah, the fact that he's not getting any tick in the slightest absolutely tells me that Dalen Terry is going to get some minutes because you're planning on playing a very, very small ball lineup for most of the season, that means to me. And that means you're going to need guys in there that are going to be active, that are going to be there, that are going to consistently attack, that are going to be down low, willing to get in there and let me say this properly, muck up the game. I said muck. I don't want David Locke coming to look for me. Muck up the game and really, make it tough down low.
We need to talk about the podcast. Go ahead and clock out for him. Clock out for him.
Hey, bro, you know this was coming, bro. But I look at Dalen and I say Dalen has stamped his ticket as a guy off of the bench that can play any position for you. Minus maybe center. But I mean, hey, I'll tell you this. Shout out to Marcus Couch, by the way. This guy is not. We haven't seen him. Where is he? Is he even on the bench?
All I can say is this with Marco, bro, is that weird things have happened. Is there still a chance if he doesn't come along this season in the second season that maybe in year 3, yeah, there's still a chance, but that chance goes exponentially less and less every season. You can't even crack the rotation. And the place that Marco's in that makes it so disheartening is that we've seen it. Marco has nothing left to learn from the G League. Nothing left to learn from the G League.
He's one of the best players in the G League.
Nothing left to learn from the G League. And if you have nothing left to learn from the developmental league, where you're supposed to go to develop, and you still can't find minutes in the NBA, it's gonna be some questions. Bro.
And again, right, here's the thing. I would love for my questions to be because Billy Donovan put him out there and he played well, and we have no choice but to ask these questions. But the questions are, Marco got out there with 7 minutes left to go in the game?
Yeah, he played 6 minutes. He didn't get dunked on, though. He didn't get dunked on.
6 minutes, he didn't get dunked on. He also did nothing else.
He gave you a triple single.
Marco ran 6 minutes more than me and you did out there.
Yeah, and we had the same production for the Chicago Bulls.
Hey, listen, you guys you actually traveled more miles than Marco did. You did more. You did more than Marco did. Technically, I mean, and so that's why I look at Dalen Terry as a guy that yeah, there's minutes up for grabs. Minutes that I thought weren't going to be up for grabs. They're up for grabs, and I think you're going to see Dalen Terry get those minutes before you see Derrick Jones Jr. get those minutes, because I think Dalen brings a little bit more to the game offensively, and I think Derrick Jones Jr. is going to be the odd man out where I thought Javonte would have been. So I'll give you credit on that one, my boy. You called that one. You called that one. You were watching Javonte Green workouts all offseason, wasn't you?
Listen, I knew he had that dog in him. So
does Joe keep no inside of Javonte as well?
No, I wouldn't say that yet. I wouldn't say that. Here's my question to you. Last preseason game coming up, as we're getting ready to do you or would you at all maybe only play DeMar, Zach, let's say 15? Would you want to take a look at Dalen Terry out there against not the second string? Or would you run the chance? We've been flirting around with power. Would you run the chance at starting Dalen Terry at the power forward? Would you?
I don't want to see no starters out there fourth game.
Okay, fair.
Play. Go.
So who's your no starters? Who you starting in preseason game 4?
I would go Dalen Terry. Unfortunately, where we're at right now, guess what? Patrick Williams. You're not a starter. Patrick Williams. I'd probably go Javonte Green just to see kind of how he works with that lineup. And you only have so many bodies that you can't play. Mm-hmm. I'd throw Marco out there, and I don't know who's left. Like we cut Freeman Liberty. Oh, Carlik Jones still on the team, ain't
he? Yeah, you're going Carlik Jones over Malcolm Hill.
What's up with Malcolm Hill? We ain't seen Malcolm Hill in 2 games.
He played last game, right? Did he not play against the Nuggets?
Malcolm Hill didn't play at all last game. We ain't seen Malcolm Hill in 2 games. If Malcolm was there, I would throw Malcolm Hill out there. Maybe
they know they're gonna because he played well in the first game. Maybe he did enough to where they're no, you're getting that second 2-way contract. So let's not even worry about it.
Maybe, right? Like I don't know. Like everybody else that's not my very important people to the team, because at the end of the day, right? Zach LaVine struggled. Zach LaVine's going to be fine. DeMar DeRozan played like he's in midseason form. We know that. Vooch is playing better. Let's ride that momentum into the game, right? Like you don't want to. I think the one thing you don't want to do, and I don't think it's an expectation, but the one thing you don't want to do is go into a game like that and say, hey. All of a sudden these guys had a really, really bad game. What's our next game? Our next game is Tuesday.
Tuesday against the Bucks.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to. You don't want to have a game where like, hey, we struggled, and then like that carries into the season. Not to say that it would, but I just look at that as an opportunity to see really what you got kind of at the end of this bench.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I would. I don't know if none of the starters are going to play, but
people. I thought about it, I was like, there's only 15 players in this.
I mean, no, we have more than 15 because we're running a bigger roster because we have the. But I would definitely start Dalen. I would find a way to get him out there just to kind of see, get him playing some with Ayo Dosunmu. Surprisingly, him and Ayo Dosunmu have only played 5 minutes together. I really want to see them out there playing together some.
Yeah.
So if you can do that, I would like to see that and what that looks like. But yeah, I think at this point, I want to see Dalen a little bit more. I would like to see Marco, even if it's just to get Marco exposed, so we can just get off these conversations. But what I'm looking for specifically in the Bulls' last preseason game before we go is I just want to see players that were on the kind of outskirts or we had questions on what the role of minutes were going to be to really get an opportunity to get more minutes, to play a heavy part. I want to see Dalen playing 20, 25 minutes. I want to see Gorn, who hasn't played very much, didn't play any in this game. I want to see him play 20, 22 minutes. I just want to see kind of the back end of the bench so we can really know, okay, this is what our bench is going to look like. And I don't think you mentioned Kobe either, even though Kobe played, 30 minutes in this game. I want to see a little bit more Kobe White as well.
I'd put Kobe White out there because I don't think he's really kind of found his way yet. I think Kobe, a little bit later in the game, kind of found, okay, I'm going to be able to do this. I'm going to be able to make this move. But Kobe White, to me, still has a long way to go, right? Like, I think the concern with a lot of Bulls fans out there is that, right, like in preseason, that's normally the time where guys are going half. Mm-hmm. And if you haven't proven yourself yet, you should be going full. Yeah. And we haven't seen Kobe White do that. We haven't seen Patrick Williams do that. We've seen Ayo Dosunmu somewhat do that, but I also, like, I look at tonight's game and I was like, well, there's your Lonzo game, right? Like 14, 7, and 5.
You don't think we've seen? So Kobe's second preseason game, he was 5 for 7 and 2 for 4 from 3. He scored 15 points.
Wasn't that all second half though?
Well, I mean, yeah, the starters played almost the whole first half. We didn't see very many. Yeah,
that's true. So. That's true. I'll give him that. I guess Kobe's showing that he's doing more. Even tonight, Kobe looked better than his stat line would tell you he looked. Yeah. But there's still moments where he does look like a liability out there. But again, he's a bench piece. Like, that's kind of what's going to come with the territory, I guess.
This is true. A lot of questions still yet to be. I wouldn't say questions yet to be answered, but a lot of things we still do want and hope to see from certain players on this team in that last preseason game. But guess what? We'll be here to break it all down and give your full season preview as well. Heading into the weekend. So listen, bro, this is the best time. Best time.
I'm so excited. When's our? Because we got Tuesday's game, and then when is our first game? Is our first game
the 19th? We got 8 days after that. 8 days.
Why y'all gonna do us like that, NBA? Why y'all gonna give us a little taste and then just take it away? Don't do us like that. I need it right away. I need it back to back. Let's go. Tuesday's game. I need a Friday game.
Listen. 8 days, man. We open up the season against the Miami Heat, no less. So it's gonna be a nice test early on for the Bulls.
Now, that's the main reason to be looking at the depth of this team, honestly, because if you ain't deep this year, this season is going to be very, very if the Bulls have injury issues like they have last year, we'll win 38 games. That's how hard this schedule is. That's how ridiculously hard this schedule is.
It's going to be a tough year for the Bulls, bro. But nonetheless, man, the Bulls are going to be up for the test as we do believe. Pat, go ahead and send us home, brother.
Hey, man, follow us both on everything at Locked On Bulls. Make sure you follow me over at Pat the Designer. Got a ton of content coming you guys' way, man. Appreciate the love.
You can follow me at CEO Haize, where we're putting that Joakim Noah in people. Listen, Dalen got that Joe in him, bro. I'm telling you.
Never mind.
That's a pause. That's definitely a pause. That's definitely a pause. A little bit of a pause. A little bit of pause. Oh, but you guys can follow me at CEO Haize, CEO Haize. And thank you for making Locked On Bulls your first listen every day. Now for your second listen, go and check. What are we supposed to be plugging for the second listen? Go. See, listen. Go and check on the Ultimate Pro Basketball Preview 2022, a 6-episode extravaganza to get you ready for the NBA season. The local team experts and the NBA insiders of the Locked On Podcast Network and Odyssey all combining into one ultimate NBA preview. Search the Ultimate Pro NBA Preview 2022 on the Audacity app, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. For Pat the Designer, I'm Haize. This is Locked On Bulls. We out this month.
Peace, man.
Peace, y'all. Music. Cue the music, damn it.